What's up, everybody? We're back. This is Jack here. I had you guys with me at the Guangzhou Auto Show just the other day. We saw a lot of cool stuff at the GWM Pavilion, all sorts of brand new models, lots of new features on their vehicles. We saw the off-road test course as well. It was a lot of fun, but it really got me thinking, if you really want to know what GWM is as a brand, how this whole thing works, how they create the vehicles that they do, we have to have a trip to the headquarters out here in Baoding in Hebei province. So that's where we are right now. Extremely windy day out here today, but that's fine. We're at the GWM Technology Center where the magic really happens, the research and development. This baby is 250,000 square meters large. They spent over 5 billion Chinese yuan building this place. So it's really very impressive. It has really put a lot of investment into expanding their brand, not just domestically, but globally as well. They really have that vision, but to see how it all works, to see how they make this magic happen, to see how they create each and every vehicle, taking it from a concept to reality, I'm gonna give you guys a tour. Let's do it. GWM is determined to greatly expand its European business activities starting mid-2026. Since September this year, more than 150 European investors have come together to witness the corporate strength and culture of GWM. Today is GWM Europe Partner Day. I will follow the Europe investor team to this innovative GWM R&D center to explore the core technologies of GWM's laboratory and the Suzhou Smart Factory. What exactly is it that attracts so many European investors to keep giving GWM a thumbs up? Let's find out. All right, everyone, we have made it to what I like to call the brain of GWM. This is the GWM R&D Center. So you can imagine a lot of the cool tech and features that we see in their vehicles are born right here. Now, this building, just first impression, 116 meters tall. You look at the outside and it's all those, glass curtain walls and stuff. You come in here, you have this massive ceiling that is lets in a lot of natural light. So it's very open, very kind of clean feel here. It kind of reflects the philosophy behind the brand and their products when it comes to kind of that openness, transparency, also that kind of green feel, that environmental friendly kind of concept that they put into a lot of their products. I mean, you've got the greenery here, you've got this open space, natural lighting. And so what's really cool about this place, why I call it the brain of GWM, is you have all of these engineers, technical experts that are working right in these offices behind us. So you can imagine the process of them starting with something on paper, something on a whiteboard, and slowly turning that idea, that concept, into the brand new features, designs, and technology that we see in these vehicles. I mean, it's just amazing to think about that process. And you come down here as well, you've got the little coffee shop, you got this piano, you've got places to get some snacks. It's a very chill environment at the same time. So people are busy, but they also have that nice atmosphere that is very important for innovation and creation. So cool. All right, so we have made it to the exhibition hall of the R&D Center. So right here, this place is super cool. You can see all of the different GWM models that they have on display. The first one we're gonna look at right here is the GWM Soul motorcycle. So this thing is really cool because it's powered by the world's first horizontally opposed 8-cylinder engine. And you can see just by the look of it, the exterior of this baby, the lines, the body lines on this thing gives a very powerful, bold look. It's also very large just in terms of the size of this thing. And now you hop on this, you can imagine taking this baby out on the weekend for a spin. That engine roars, that kind of power in your hands as you're riding this thing down the highway. It would be quite the feeling. But yeah, that is the GWM Soul motorcycle. This one right here is the GWM Wei G9. Now we saw this thing at the Guangzhou Auto Show. This thing, like I was saying back then, it's like a first class cabin on wheels. So one of the functions that I really love is the zero gravity seat right here. So you just click one button like I did right there and boom, this thing just jumps right into place. You can imagine that if you're out on a family trip, you're going out camping, you just want to relax, you park the vehicle, you have this big screen right here, you have all the features on that screen as well. You can watch your favorite shows, put on your favorite music and just be hanging out, cup of coffee, all that. It'd also be great for, you know, if for business purposes, if you were picking up important clients, you want them to have that comfortable experience, you want them to be able to enjoy their ride. This is a vehicle that really maximizes comfort, really has a lot of intuitive, ergonomical areas and features that really just makes your ride a pleasant ride. That was the GWM Wagey 9, and right over here we also have the GWM Haval series. Now this series is extremely popular worldwide. It has already sold over 8 million units globally. So I want to start you guys first off with this part of the Haval series. This is the GWM Haval Mongnong, the retro kind of classic off-road SUV look. It's a little boxier. It's got those sharp body lines. It's really a very cool vehicle to drive. So you can imagine just driving a vehicle like this. It's not just a mode of transportation. It's not just a tool for getting around. It's really very much an expression of attitude and lifestyle as well. So next to our Haval Mongnong, we also have the GWM Haval Xiaolong Max. Now this thing is a very intelligent vehicle, but at the same time, it's very economical in terms of both price and fuel usage as well. It's not gonna break your bank when it comes to how much you're spending on gas. So let's continue over here to our tank series. Here we are at our tank series over here. I'm gonna start you guys off with a Tank 300. Now this is kind of really one of the more popular classic models that you have coming from GWM. I see these things on the street all the time. It's really a favorite among a lot of users and drivers. So it's very much got that classic look. It's more of a boxy, kind of tough look to it. And it's also a great combination of both off-road capability, luxury, and comfort as well. So I really think, in my opinion, the Tank 300 is a great embodiment of what GWM is a brand, a combination of luxury, comfort, technology, innovation, and that off-roading capability and performance. And now over here, we have the Tank 700. Now this is a dream car for many people. This thing is massive. It's like 5 meters long, nearly 2 meters tall. I mean, even when I stand next to it, I just feel like I'm dwarfed by this thing. So this thing is impressive when it comes to the powertrain of this baby. You're looking at a 3-liter turbocharged hybrid engine. You've got the 9-hat transmission. This thing really packs a punch, a lot of power. It also, surprisingly, has really good fuel consumption as well when it comes to a vehicle of this size and of this power. Just 3 liters will take you 100 kilometers. It has a maximum range of about 790 kilometers as well. Like I was saying, the power on this thing, the strength of this thing is very impressive. The acceleration, as you can imagine, is also very quick. This thing goes 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.6 seconds. So the Tank 700, extremely bold, extremely powerful. I would love to get behind the wheel of one of these things.
We wanted this vehicle to have a vibe of, let's say, calmness.
Okay, so right now we're actually here with Design Director at GWM, Dyson. So we can ask him a couple questions about this vehicle he's been working on at GWM Aura 5. So Dyson, looking at this GWM Aura 5, I've heard a lot of people talk about the natural aesthetic of it. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, everything is really about rounded shapes. You can see here on the front end, everything is round sections, the hood is round, and particularly the headlamps, yeah? Very friendly, round headlamps. So, yeah, it's like your buddy, you know? You look at this car and you feel good about it, and it looks, let's say, calm, you know, and peaceful. And yet it has a unique character.
Yeah, I'd say when I look at it, like kind of the roundness of it, the body lines, the contours, it really flows, I want to say. What's kind of the inspiration behind that?
So the inspiration is really like, we looked at nature and we kind of looked at what is it about nature? You know, you've got natural things like the solar system, everything is round. And then another thing that inspired us are stones. You have the natural round shaped stones that you find in a river, and then the water washes over them and naturally become round. So those kind of shapes inspired us when we started doing the sketches. The designers put this kind of concept together, and it looks seamless. As you said, just completely round, organic shapes.
So you mentioned the headlights. Could you tell us a little bit more about the design and the headlights here?
So the headlights, they're not actually purely round. They're actually slightly shaped, flattened off at the bottom, but they sit nicely on the nose of the car. So what they also do is they give the fender shape. As you can see here, they all develop from the round shape. Yeah? So you've got the bulge here, which also works on the fender from the side view too.
Yeah.
So both work in harmony. It's not like you put a headlamp on the design after the shape's done. It's like they both work together.
Integrated.
Yeah? Integrated, yeah.
So I notice here we also have a couple different colors to look at. Are there any what's kind of the story behind these different colors that we have here?
Yeah, the story, I mean, we've got these, I really love the grey colour because of its kind of masculine look. It's kind of inspired by rocks and sort of nature as well. And then also this, let's call it this colour here, this ruby red is what I call it.
Yeah.
The company calls it something different, but I think it's really impressive. It looks really trendy. I think it can appeal to young people as well. Stands out in a crowd.
So besides the exterior of it, because I was at the Guangzhou Auto Show just the other day and I sat inside of it as well, and I think we could come around here to this, the driver's seat over here to look at the interior of it. So, a lot of thought went into the exterior and the design, but I noticed that when it comes to the interior, I sat in it, it's comfortable, it's spacious as well. You did not sacrifice anything in that regard. Can you tell us more about what went into the design of the interior?
So rather like the exterior, the rounded shapes, everything here is harmonious. You've got a round instrument panel, the curves, particularly on the end of the instrument panel. That's what I love the most. That sort of frames the beautiful materials. We've got the really nice steering wheel, very simplistic, just a two-spoker. And we've got the door panels, beautifully integrated, rounded shapes. And what they actually have is almost like a floating panel. You've got LED lighting, which emerges between the two skins, and the same on the instrument panel. So you've actually got a floating effect with the LED, as you can see over there. You see the blue LED coming through the outside, which is really nice, especially at night. Obviously, it'll glow more.
Right, that's got to be pretty at night.
Yeah.
Nighttime city drive, and you got the LEDs glowing. It has that float look.
And then, of course, you've got the huge center console here. But floating, so you've got great space for cup holders, really comfortable armrests, storage underneath.
Right. Inductive
charging, so all, let's say, easy to access. With your arm, with your hand, and yet underneath, you've got a good storage. Let's say if you've got a handbag for a lady, or you've got whatever, you've got the big space underneath there too.
You can put quite a bit there.
So overall, it's really practical, stylish, and it doesn't look heavy. It all looks nice and light. And of course, not to forget, the infotainment is super important.
Yeah.
You've got a big screen there, so you've got great visibility, and also we haven't got a normal old style cluster. We've got just a very high technology small display here, which is all you need really for driving. And we've also integrated the switches. As you can see here, we've got these beautiful switches.
Kind of retro, those switches, yeah?
Slightly retro feeling, so it's a combination of the nice feeling of like touching a piano key, which was the inspiration. So you have that nice feeling, the quality feeling, and it's also a functional thing. It's sometimes you get in the car and you don't want to go through a menu and try to find, let's say, heater control.
I get lost sometimes with some of those displays.
So here you can get in, and the comfort things, especially regarding, let's say, warmth, or when it's too hot and you want it to cool down, you can go straight away to those functions, which is really comfortable.
Right at the fingertips.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. Thank you very much, Dyson.
Okay, thanks very much, Jack.
Love the insights.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So far, we've seen a lot of the different models and vehicles that GWM has created. However, the process of creating these vehicles is very complicated, and these vehicles go through an extensive amount of tests to make sure that So where we're at right now is the EMC laboratory. This is the electromagnetic compatibility room. So what they do at this laboratory is it's essentially a health checkup for the electromagnetic state of the vehicle. So although electromagnetic waves, this kind of radiation, you don't see it. It is very important to the safety of the vehicle. So what they do here is they will test external electromagnetic radiation, these waves, their effect on the vehicle, make sure that the vehicle's electrical systems, all of that software in the vehicle is able to withstand any of that external interference and make sure that they are both reliable and stable, because you don't want your vehicle pooping out on you while you're driving it. Also, it tests the electromagnetic radiation that is emitted from the vehicle itself and make sure that this type of emission and these waves do not have negative effects on its external environment or the people driving it. And that will be whether the vehicle is being driven or whether it is being charged. We want to see what the electromagnetic state of this vehicle is, make sure that it doesn't have any dangerous interference or effects on the environment and people around it. So this laboratory was built back in 2017. They spent 6 million euros to build it, and the test reports that are issued here are recognized by over 70 countries. The processes that they use here, the type of testing, it is up to standard in markets like Europe, North America, China as well, of course. You can see that GWM has really gone to extensive lengths to make sure that their laboratories produce results that are trustworthy. All right, so now we are in the NVH laboratory. This NVH stands for noise, vibration, and harshness. And when you walk in here, the first thing you notice is that this place is extremely quiet. So this right here, you see they have these like wedge designs on both the ceiling and the walls. Those are metal wedges that have a certain type of sound absorbing material within them. So when you stand in here, it's extremely quiet. It's like an acoustic black hole. The sound in here can drop down to about 20 decibels or less, and that is extremely quiet. Now, like I was saying, they spent 3.7 million euros developing this room, and it has an area of 430 square meters. So it's actually a lot bigger than what you're seeing right now, but they have this vehicle right here that's still classified, so I can't show you it all. But what they do in here essentially with this space is they have this vehicle right here, and it runs on the simulated road, so they can see the vibration that the vehicle creates, the noise that the vehicle creates, and why they have this noise insulated sound absorbing room is to get rid of all of the external noise and variables that would affect the test. So they can specifically test the sound and the noise of the vehicle itself and see how it performs. So this goes a long way when we're thinking about the comfort of the vehicle and the driving experience. You don't want it to be too noisy, especially if you're thinking about the European market, driving on a German Autobahn at extremely high speeds. You still get that great noise insulation, that nice quiet drive. You could be driving at extremely fast speeds and whispering to the person next to you and still be able to hear just fine. So you can see the amount of both investment and thought that goes into things, you know, just as specific as noise cancellation. They created a whole laboratory for it to test just that one thing. It's very cool. All right, so now we are moving from silent mode to storm mode. Right next to me here is the GWM climatic wind tunnel. Now, this is the first fully functional wind tunnel built by an independent Chinese brand that can simultaneously simulate both high temperature and low temperature environments. Now, this place is absolutely massive, 2,800 square meters. That's the equivalent of about 7 basketball courts. And we're talking about a very tall room as well, about the equivalent of a 4-story building. Now, this place is very impressive because it can simulate a lot of different conditions for our vehicles. Because you think about, take Europe, for example. In the Netherlands and the UK, you've got extremely humid environments. Up in Sweden and Finland, you can have very cold winters, lots of snow. If you bring it down to summer in Spain, you have very strong UV rays, lots of sunlight, and very high temperatures. So this climatic wind tunnel is very impressive in the fact that it can simulate, it can create a temperature from anywhere from 40 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. So really, really cold or really, really hot. It can also simulate humidity from 5% to 95%. It can also put the vehicle through all sorts of different weather like snow, rain, extremely strong winds. So it's extremely important for us to be able to test the vehicle and see that it is able to perform in a variety of different environments. This will show us how the vehicle reacts in a range of environments and terrains. All right, so we have now made it to what has been called the final examination room for each and every GWM model. This is the GWM Crash Lab, where they put the vehicle to the ultimate test. Now, we are here with GWM expert Michele. Can you tell us a little bit about what this Crash Lab is all about?
Sure, Jack. Hello, everybody. So this is the Crash Test Lab. It's a huge facility that was kicked off in 2006, and it was developed from 2008 onward. We developed more than 100 models here of cars. It's a big place, as you can see, 57,000 square meter.
Wow.
Which is kind of like 8-10 football pitch or 135 basketball court, right? So it's a big place. It was the first facility developed in China by the Chinese automaker, so it's internally in GWM. Huge investment, like 63 million euros.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a critical and crucial facility. And is, as you can see, is a big place where we have the concept of the 8 tracks for the different direction of collision. And we have like 5 zones to cover all type of NCAP safety standard crash test all around the world.
Okay. I also hear that this is the biggest crash test lab in Asia. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. It was a huge investment, and it is the biggest one in Asia. So having the facility here within our company is absolutely great for developing our models.
Right, and I find it interesting that GWM has put this much investment into testing the safety of their vehicles. What do you think safety means to GWM as a brand?
Very good question, because safety is not a slogan, it is really a core and fundamental trait of our company. We want our car to be safe, and we want to be the safest place in case of a collision, in case of a crash. Right? So I've actually a question for you. Like, how long do you think it's gonna take to get hurt in a crash?
So like if I crash the vehicle, how long does it take the person inside the vehicle to get hurt?
Yes.
Maybe a second?
Wow, it's much less, a fraction of that. It takes 0.1 seconds, so 100 milliseconds is less than a blink of an eye, right?
Wow.
So it takes really quick. That's the reason why all the equipment that you see around is set up to capture that 0.1 second that makes the difference between getting hurt or being able to step out of the vehicle after a collision, right? So for example, you see we have a glass floor, 110 millimeter thick.
Yeah, I see under here you also have cameras, you have
lights, absolutely, to capture what is happening under the car.
Is it okay for me to stand on this?
As long as you weigh less than 2 elephants, you're totally safe.
This thing will hold 2 elephants?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's very safe. And of course there are cameras all around. There are cameras that take pictures and videos at a very high frame, because we want to understand how the structure crash and absorb energy during the crash. We use cameras up to 4,000 frames per second.
Per second?
Yes. So
wow.
A lot of frames to understand exactly in detail the deformation of the structure. And since it's a very fast frame, we need a lot of lights. You see here, we updated the system with LED lights. Previously, we had halogen lights that were a little bit hot during the summer.
That'd be really hot.
Cooler, and so we can capture all the details during the crash.
All right, very interesting. So the test results that come out of our crash lab here, are they recognized internationally or in other markets?
So we use the crash test here to develop our vehicles so that it can pass the official certified test that might happen in different places. But what is crucial is that when you need to develop a vehicle, you need to make a lot of these crash tests. It's part of the design look of engineering a car. So having all of this done here is a great, huge advantage and competitive advantage.
I see. So something else I saw that I thought was pretty interesting is just a moment ago we were in that room with all the test dummies, right?
Yeah.
So how many test dummies do you guys have? Where do they all come from?
So test dummies are, I think we have 34 in total. Here 24 are adults, grown up, and
right.
10 kids.
Okay.
Very important safety of kids, right? So they are very expensive items. It doesn't look like, but they need to mimic how the human body performs somehow or interact with the surrounding during the crash. So they are highly valuable items. In total, I think we invested up to 13 million euro. Very accurate, so that we understand the amount of force that is transmitted by the safety belt, for example, to your thorax. So we understand if it's safe during a crash or not.
So these dummies, they're equipped with sensors, right?
Many sensors, a lot of sensors, but also they need to have the same flexibility and articulation of a human body, so that it really mimics perfectly what is going to happen in a real crash. And they've been through like probably more than 10,000 crashes so far, so they are really veterans now.
Oh, they're very well experienced dummies, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So we're standing next to the GWM Aura 5, right? So we talked about some of like the crash safety features. You have the frame of the vehicle as well, right? What are some of the kind of active safety features or intelligent safety features we might see in a vehicle like the GWM Aura 5?
Yeah, so very good question. So the Aura 5 is equipped with even a more proactive and intelligent system. We are making full use of the modern technology that is coming with it. That is an intelligent system that helps the car to predict what is coming up. So when the system detects a collision that is going to happen and is maybe inevitable, if the all other systems are not able to, there will be the system will start braking, and there's a lot of things that are happening so that the chances not to get hurt in any type of accident increases dramatically. So there's a very good interaction between passive safety, that is like your safety belt or the airbag, and active safety, like a system that look after what is all around in the surrounding, in the environment, and try to predict when the collision is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and what is the best way to protect.
All right, what's up everyone? So now we are at the Xushui Smart Factory right now. Now this place is absolutely massive. It has a planned area of 13 square kilometers, separated into 5 different sections. So you have the main vehicle assembly area, you have the stamping, welding, and logistics zone, you have the supporting component supplies area, you also have the comprehensive vehicle testing grounds, and you have the residential living area. So this makes it the largest SUV production base in all of China. So right here, we're kind of at the beginning of it, where it all happens, where it all begins. You have the stamping area. So this is where they take cold, hard steel and they stamp it with tons of pressure and molding it into parts of the vehicle, like the door, the engine hood, things like that. So you can see the steel right behind me is being pressed into these different components. All right, so now we are at a truly impressive area of the factory here. This is the welding workshop, and it's honestly just beautiful. It's elegant to see these automated robots in motion. There are over 500 of these robotic arms here, moving in perfect sync, almost like they are choreographed together to take these stamped parts here and weld it into the larger frame of the vehicle. So these mechanical arms here are extremely precise. I'm talking about accuracy when they weld down to a 1/10 of a millimeter. That is very precise. Okay, so we are now in the final assembly workshop where you see these vehicles are going through the last step of production, rolling right off the assembly line. They roll through here and they literally drive out the door of that factory, fully complete. But before each of these vehicles rolls off this assembly line, each one must go through a series of extremely rigorous tests to make sure they are ready for the market. I'm talking about things checking the lights, the electronic systems, the dynamic performance of the vehicle, making sure that each vehicle is up to standard and in flawless condition before it is delivered to the market. All right, so we have made it to the end of the assembly line. The vehicle is rolling off the assembly line complete, born into this world, driving right out of the factory. I mean, this tour today has been extremely fun in my opinion. We have gone behind the scenes at GWM to see how a vehicle goes from an idea, concept on a paper, and born into a real life vehicle that we can drive. We saw the research and development. We saw all the different laboratories where they test these vehicles in a whole host of different environments to see how they react, see how they perform. And then we came to the Suzhou factory to see this automated manufacturing, extremely efficient, extremely fast, all these working parts, welding, robot arms, working in perfect coordination, choreographed to perfection, and we see the ultimate product, the vehicle that comes out of it. And you can really see through this whole process how GWM pays attention to each and every detail. It's that real pursuit of perfection that is going to allow GWM to go onto the global stage and become a leader in automobile manufacturing. But we've seen the whole birth of the vehicle, how it was made, but honestly, the real and ultimate test is getting behind the wheel and driving it yourself and seeing how it performs. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a couple different GWM models. We're gonna hop in them, take them for a spin, see how they ride, see that agility, comfort, power, performance. That will be the ultimate test. So I encourage you guys to join me for the next video and we will see how these babies ride.
GWM, go with more.